Sniper acá abajo.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to show you the true power of tapping or burst firing your weapon in Warzone. This will allow you to beam enemies 200 plus meters, right? And obviously I'm not talking about burst firing like the Craig or M13s or weapons that don't move a lot, right? Meta switches often, right? So today I'm going to be showing you guys with the C58 or just any weapon that has just a little bit more recoil than usual, how to tap and how to take this to the max. Because I remember in one of my videos, one of the guys actually commented when I told him about this tip, like for example, sometimes I take underbills out of my weapon, and then when it's really far away, I use this tap or burst firing. And the guy in the comments was like, yo, no way. Like, if you actually just hold down the trigger, it's a lot easier to control than actually tapping. And I'm going to show you guys why it's not. So you've obviously got some weapons that are easy to control, right? Let's say like the Krieg or like the Sonar, just weapons that have vertical recoil, right? If all they do is go up, then yeah, maybe you don't fully need to do the tap thing because all you need to do is pull your analog stick a little bit down, right? But when you've got weapons that got like zigzag motion, recoils, patterns, or just like sometimes a little bit more than the other, or like if you're actually trying to track this target up and down while he's moving, it's going to be a lot harder to control, like just holding down your trigger button and trying to control the recoil as you try to take on your target. This burst method is, I've never seen anybody burst me. Everybody, while I'm always getting beamed, they just try to hold down the trigger and try to every shot. I've never seen anybody use this burst fire method, but it works tremendously. So let me just show you some quick examples and what I mean by burst fire. Oh my god, we're still in it. That's the power of tapping, boys. The power of stopping. Tapping, sorry. A lot easier to control the recoil. Look at that. And now let me just show you in an actual scenario what I mean by it. So let's say you've got that guy, right? You're trying to beam that truck, right? And if you try to control the recoil, right, it bounces quite a bit, right? It's still fairly manageable, right? You could still definitely control the recoil, but that's a big target, right? Now let's say we want to hit somebody like right there, right? But behind, let's say he's right behind that, and we got to beam every single shot, and let's try to control that. Here now, I'm not the best at controlling recoil, but we would be able to tell here that not a lot of those shots would hit, right? I mean, if he's right behind that car, he's hiding right behind her, not that many shots would hit. Now, compare that to this. And again, the tapping motion is really all that it is. So you really just tap, right? You just really burst fire. And if you burst fire that, it's going to be a lot easier. As you guys can see, my shots are more around that area with this burst fire compared to the other one. Again, let's say if the guy's running across the field, right? He's running and I'm trying to beam this guy. Running and beaming like this, look, my weapon goes like up and down sometimes. It's like an uppy down motion, right? Because I'm trying to control the recoil. And then again, if we do just a tapping motion, as you can see, that's a lot straighter line, and it's a lot easier for me to control than when I am just full on burst fire. Now, C58 is a weapon that is pretty easy to control, right? So now let's try with another one that has a little bit more recoil, being the XM4. And again, if we try to beam somebody that's way over there, and we actually try to control that, I mean, look at that. The recoil is pretty crazy on this thing, right? I mean, it's like moving up and down, and just the bouncing is crazy. And again, if you take that into consideration, and then you try the tapping motion, the tapping one is going to be a lot easier to control. So let's actually try to beam that guy. As we can see, like if we actually just try to control that recoil, it's going to be like really hard, right? Just like trying to actually control that recoil. But now if we start the beaming process, right, we can see I definitely already hit a lot more shots than I would have if I wouldn't have done that. I actually already broke his plates. He's almost down actually, and he went in that house. Obviously this is not made for long range, but as we can see, I broke his armor once I started the tapping motion. It's just really a lot easier when you're doing the tapping motion. Now, not only is it good for that, but also, oh my god, this guy just got me from behind. So I tried to go back up there to my same spot, but there was actually a full team of campers in tower playing Plunder. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with people's lives nowadays. And then just at the end, one of the most important things is you just get a lot less visual recoil, right? Because again, if I try to beam this guy and I just beam it like that, as you can see, like kind of like after half of my clip, your sight, it just seems like it's going crazy, right? It goes like left and right, and no matter how hard you try to control it, it just does that because that's the nature of the recoil gun, right? And then if you compare that to this, me tapping, this is definitely a lot more controllable, and it seems a lot cleaner than the other one that I was doing. Obviously, yes, you're gonna shoot a lot less shots per minute, but believe me, you will be able to hit more of your shots with this. And remember, this is not like you're supposed to be burst firing like everybody. Let's say if there's a guy in the window, you know, burst fire. Nah, this is, again, I'm just talking about when you're really trying to beam somebody like 200, 250 meters out, and you've got a gun that's got a fair amount of recoil, then this is something I'd suggest you to do. Obviously, if you can't mount the weapon or anything like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Have you ever done this before? Because I've never seen anybody do this against me, but whenever I do it, it helps me to smack people from far away. Peace out, everybody.